Welcome to SELP, where business students get help. I'm your online business coach, C Positivista. Welcome to another video. So in this video, I want to talk about how to prepare for the corporate world. So for the purposes of this video, let's just say you're now in a place where you're ready to start your job, right? So you have the CV, you've applied for the different roles that you're interested in, you've gone for the interviews, the first interview, second interview, third interview, whatever. You've now gone past that stage and you've now been given an offer and you've accepted the offer and you're now ready to start the job. I'm just going to break down some of the things that you should take into consideration right before you start. Before you start your job, the very first thing I'm going to say is create some goals for yourself. Are you looking to stay within this organization in a long term or short term? If you're planning to only be at this organization for a short while, then I would suggest you give yourself a deadline. Are you looking to be there for a year? Are you looking to be there for 6 months, 2 years? Just set yourself a goal as to how long you want to stay there for and when you're looking to leave. So that way you're able to kind of like just have something to work towards and you're not just sitting there for years and years and years or going by and you're just still there. You're not going anywhere, you're just staying there. So just make sure that you've set that goal for yourself. You know that you're only staying there a short while, 6 months, 1 year. Boom, you know when you're leaving, you know when you're planning to leave. That way you know right before you go into it that this is your personal plan. This is not something that your manager needs to know about. This is not something that your colleagues need to know about. This is your own personal plan that you're only planning to stay there for a certain amount of time. And if you're planning to stay at this organization for a long while and you're thinking about potentially working your way up into management or or whatever it is that you want to do within this organization, I would say before you get started, start to strategize on how it is that you're going to do this, how you're looking to progress. I will create a separate video on how to strategize if you're looking to progress. So for the purposes of this video, I'm just going to go through the different steps, but I'm going to create another video on how you can strategize if you're looking to progress within the organization. Before you start your role, read your job description. Really go through your job description, read it to understand it. Read it so that you understand what your role is within the company. Read it so that you can understand what your day-to-day tasks are. That way, you know what you're doing, you know what you're there for, and not just that. Like some companies, not all companies, but some companies have a sneaky way of getting you to do things that are not within your job description. So that way you can also be able to stand up for yourself and just say, actually, that's not within my job description. So read your job description for you to really understand it. And also, while you're reading your job description, highlight anything that doesn't make sense to you, like anything that you think actually this doesn't add up or it just simply doesn't make sense to you. Speak to your line manager and ask them the questions. Ask them, what does this mean within the job description, or not even the job description, within the contract as well. Like before you sign that contract, read the contract, read the fine print, understand what you're getting yourself into. Really understand like your probation period, like really understand how long you're going to be on it for. And also ask questions on how you will be assessed when it comes to your probation, so that you know what you're working towards if you're looking to stay within the organization. Really just understand these things. The job description and the contract are two separate documents. So when you start a new job, they're going to send you loads of different documents and they're going to say, yeah, sign this and do this. Make sure that you're understanding everything. Like make sure that you know what you're signing. Don't just be signing for the sake of signing because you got a new job, you're excited, you're gassed, you're thinking, yes, a new job. Read it, scan it, highlight things that you don't understand. Your contract should also let you know how you can get out of the contract. Depending on the type of contract that you're on, some of them may say before your probation period is over, you can give, 2 weeks notice. And you've got other organizations that might say you still need to provide 1 month notice. So really just have a read so that you know, like, if you're trying to leave, you know that, okay, your notice is 2 weeks. So if you're, once you've started a role, if you think, you know what, this actually isn't for me, your contract there, just know what your contract says. And if you're applying for other roles, you're able to also inform another company that, okay, my notice period is 2 weeks or it's a month, and they will be able to work with you in that respect. So that way, you know what you're doing, you're able to strategize, you're able to, if you're thinking, okay, like I'm trying to come out of this contract, that way you're able to really strategize your exit. Like, how to plan your exit accordingly. Really understand how much holiday you have, and really understand the process of requesting for a holiday. But again, I can create separate videos on how to read through contracts and things like that. So when you now start the job, say for example, it's your first week, it's your first month, really just take the time to observe. Do less of this and more of this. Like, be listening more than speaking. Observe your environment, observe the people around you, observe the managers, observe your colleagues. Like, just get to know everyone, obviously have conversations here and there, have that colleague, that colleague type of conversation, get to know them, but don't be sharing anything. You don't know these people. You've just got to this new environment. You don't know these people. You don't owe them anything. They don't owe you anything. Like, just ease yourself into it. Give yourself time. Give yourself time to get to know them. Give yourself time to also just settle into the environment. Don't start now sharing food with these people and sharing stories with these people. You don't know them. You don't know these people. So just, I'm not saying that be antisocial. Don't be antisocial. Like, be yourself. However, just hold back a little bit, because you don't know what people's intentions are. You don't know um who's potentially watching you and also observing you. So just, it's your first day, it's your first week, just ease yourself in, get to know your role, understand, how things are within the building, do all your trainings, whatever you have set, whatever they set for your first week, your induction, whatever it is. Just really get on with that, focus on that, other than focusing on anything else. Remember what you're there for. I would say when it's like your lunchtime, go and have lunch outside of the building. Like, give yourself that space so that you can just step out of the building and just have lunch elsewhere. Because when you start a new job, it can be so overwhelming. Like, no matter how confident you are, like I'm confident, but like I've started jobs and I've just been so overwhelmed, where it's just like, oh my gosh, like, you've got all these colleagues and all these people wanting to know you, like, hi, what's your name? Hi, yeah. And it's like, it's your lunchtime. You don't need any of that, you know? Say, ask them, make sure you ask them, how long your break is. If it's an hour, if it's half an hour, take your half an hour, take your lunch, go. Get out of the building, give yourself some time so that you can just breathe and be able to ground yourself and center yourself and bring yourself back. Bring it in, right? Um, Bring it in and really just prepare yourself so you can go back in again. The next thing I would say is to learn. Yeah. Like, once you're there, learn. If it's your first week, if it's your second week, just your first month, learn. Take in as much information as you can. Ask a lot of questions. Like, ask so that you can understand. Ask so that you will be able to do things on your own and you're not constantly asking people later on. Like, take a notepad with you, write things down. When someone is teaching you something, you've got different organizations do things differently. So you might have like the IT department. You might go to the IT department where they'll give you a laptop, your phone, and all your devices. They'll be giving you the passwords and all of that. Write all these things down. Write all of these things down, because you don't want to be that person. You don't want to go back to IT and be like, oh, what was that again? Or what is, I mean, if you need to go there and do that, then you need to go there and do that. However, other than that, Write everything down. When they ask you, when they're teaching you something, if it's your induction, they're giving you all the information, listen. Listen, learn, understand, observe. If the person who's providing you with the training says something that you don't understand, ask them. Just ask them to repeat what they've said. You've got people who are so willing, to train you. Like, you've got people who are so willing to just give you the information and teach you, and and really just welcome you and show you the ropes. But you've got other people who they're just really just they're just so like they just they just it's like they do but they don't want to teach you at the same time. So don't be that person who has to keep going to people. No, listen, pay attention, take notes, write it down. That way you know what it is. And don't act like you know it all either. Even if you know it, don't act like you know it all. Just sometimes it's good to just like to have like a refresher. Like, sometimes it's good to just get information again, and sometimes it can work as a confirmation for you that what you know, um is still that, because companies do things differently. Like, companies do things differently. What they did at that company, at your previous workplace, may not be what they're doing at your new workplace. So just take it in, listen, observe, and just learn and have fun. Like, have fun and really, like, once you start settling in, again, I'm going to create a separate video, but once you start settling in, really own your job, like really own your role. Like, know what it is that you're doing, like understand your role, so that you're in a position where no one can tell you how to do your job, because you know how to do it. Like, obviously it's not for you to be Mr. Know-it-all or Miss Know-it-all, but when you know how to do your job, people can't come to you anyhow, because they know that you're an asset to the organization. They know that you're someone that you bring value to the company. So know what it is that you're bringing. Really own your skills. Really um, own what it is that you're there to do, and have fun. Have fun, and learn as much as you can, and write down all of your goals, like all these, like, your achievements. Like, when you achieve things within the company, like when you do great things, keep track of them, so that when it comes to that time, of now, I don't know, proposing to, asking for a promotion, you can come to them with receipts and say, on this month I was, I achieved this, or I brought this much clients, or whatever the case may be. You're able to back up the information, like the information that you're giving to them. You're able to back it up with evidence. When you start your job, make sure you're really, really careful with social media and what you're sharing online. Like, I've seen videos on TikTok of people sharing like the companies that they're working at, the uniforms that, like, so just make sure you're being smart with how you're doing things. Like, you can come online and share what you're doing, but just be careful about sharing about the company that you're working for, because some companies don't like that, because it's like bad PR for them, and bad marketing for them. So you really don't want to lose your job. Like, imagine, especially if you worked really hard to get into this job. Like, nowadays, to get a job, like, you've got to jump so many hurdles, and you don't want your hard work to be taken from you. Do you know what I mean? Because you decided to go and post it on social media. You can post on social media, but just be careful about the information and how you're sharing information online. And not just that, like, you've got people who are just ready to mash up what you've got going on. So don't, just be smart with how you do things, how you're posting things on social media. So yeah, thank you for watching this video. I hope it really, really helps you. If you like this video, click that like button, click that subscription button for more videos like this, and I'll see you on the next one.